Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, today we're looking at some source material that is going to totally flip how you view your own past. We're talking about 10 weird, maybe kind of annoying habits you got in major trouble for as a kid. Because it turns out those quirky things you did are actually, and I mean this literally, the secret psychology behind your absolute greatest strengths as an adult.
Did you ever have that thing where you'd be playing with your friends all day, running around, having a total blast, and then, boom, the absolute second you got home, you just needed to be completely, utterly alone? Like you had to shut the door and just totally isolate yourself from the world. If you did that, your parents were probably pretty worried about you. Your teachers might have even slapped some negative labels on you, throwing around quotes like, "Oh, you're being antisocial." It caused so much quiet anxiety for a lot of kids. But here is the incredible truth we're unpacking today. That wasn't a flaw. Not at all.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, Emotional and Social Regulation. We're going to see that these little quirks, they were just your nervous system doing exactly what it was supposed to do. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that this behavior isn't about disliking people. It's actually healthy introversion. You were spending huge amounts of energy out there in social situations, and you just instinctively knew how to regulate and refill your tank before you burned out. I mean, this is a vital energy refill skill that most grown adults today still don't have, and you'd already totally mastered it by the time you were, 8 years old? Let's look at another one of those heavily pathologized habits, crying easily. If you were that kid constantly getting told you were too sensitive or a crybaby, well, listen up. It turns out high emotional reactivity in childhood is strongly linked to high empathic accuracy in adulthood. So that little childhood quirk, it actually evolved into your superpower, your ability to read people's emotions faster and way more precisely than anyone else in the room. The kid who cried at every scraped knee or sad commercial grew into the exact adult everyone turns to when they desperately need to feel understood. All right, how about talking to yourself? Did you constantly narrate your own actions out loud as a kid? Like, okay, now I'm putting the blue block right here. Well, psychologists actually have a clinical term for this, private speech. This totally proves it wasn't just some weird quirk making your siblings roll their eyes. It's literally the active process of how your developing brain was building self-regulation and working memory.
And this brilliantly illustrates how that vocal narrator didn't actually disappear as you grew up. It just moved inside. It became your adult internal monologue. It's the exact cognitive tool that helps you confidently talk yourself through really hard decisions under pressure right now, instead of just freezing up.
Section 2, Cognitive Processing and Creativity. We're going to look at how the developing brain processes information in ways adults almost always misunderstand.
So, if you were the kid constantly being told to pay attention, this one is absolutely for you. Daydreaming activates a brain state neuroscientists call the default mode network. Those kids staring out the classroom window, they weren't checked out at all. Actually, their brains were quietly working in the background, connecting dots and directly driving creative problem solving. So, the crucial point is that zoning out in middle school math class was the exact same biological wiring that gives you your very best, most brilliant epiphanies in the shower today. The wiring literally hasn't changed.
And what about the kids who just refuse to move on? You know, the ones rewatching the exact same movie or rereading the same book over and over while everyone else moved on to new stuff. Adults usually mistake this for a lack of imagination, but it's actually a mastery instinct. You are comfortable going deep instead of just going wide. Today, that's the exact trait that lets you get genuinely excellent at a specific skill rather than just skimming the surface of 10 different things.
Or how about stalling? The kid who says, "I can't start my homework until all my pencils are perfectly lined up." Sure, it's super annoying to a parent just trying to get you to finish a math worksheet, but that's actually an early quality control instinct. It's the neurological system that keeps you from making sloppy mistakes in your professional work today. Stalling until it's just right wasn't a bug in your programming, it was a highly sophisticated system.
Let's move to and see how this builds as we get into Section 3, Systems and Leadership Instincts. This is all about how you naturally organized a pretty chaotic world. Think about these 4 things. Asking why constantly, obsessively rearranging your toys, being the bossy game organizer, or over-explaining everything just to avoid getting in trouble. We're grouping these final 4 behaviors briskly right here because they are all early, completely untaught indicators of high-level systems thinking and leadership. Let's break them down real quick. First up, the kid who wouldn't stop asking why, even after the 3rd answer. That's root cause thinking.
It's the instinct to seek answers way beyond the surface level, and honestly, it is the exact core instinct behind elite adult troubleshooting, debugging, and diagnosing. Surface-level answers just weren't good enough for you, and that makes you an incredible problem solver today.
Then we have the obsessive reorganizers. Constantly rearranging your toys or your room wasn't actually about being tidy or neat. It was early spatial and structural reasoning. You were showing off complex systems thinking way before you even had the vocabulary to explain what you were doing.
And you know, every friend group had that one kid who dictated all the rules of the game. If that was you, you weren't just being a bossy kid. You were practicing complex human coordination before anyone ever taught you how to manage a team. You were showing leadership without a title, just naturally organizing people and driving everyone toward a shared goal.
Finally, if you were the kid giving adults the full, highly detailed play-by-play just to avoid getting in trouble, look at what that built. Overexplaining turned you into the person who communicates with precise, extreme thoroughness under pressure. When everyone else is panicking, you're the one stepping up, cutting right through the noise and explaining things perfectly clearly.
Which brings us to our final part, Section 4, not flaws, but signals.
Because here is the absolute truth. None of these traits were broken. They weren't flaws that needed to be fixed or punished out of you. They were vital signals. Your brain was actively building the exact tools you'd need for adulthood, way before you had any clue what those tools were even for. You were just quietly becoming powerful this whole time.
So, I want to leave you with this question. Which of these 10 habits was you? Drop a number in the comments below letting us know which childhood quirk you are suddenly most proud of. We really do read every single one. And hey, if this explainer gave you a totally new perspective on your own mind, make sure to subscribe for weekly breakdowns just like this. Catch you next time.